Hey guys, this is Leeza, and today I thought I would do a get to know me style video where I share 3 things about myself with you guys that I haven't really talked about much on the internet before. They're 3 things that are quite an important part of my life, but I haven't really shared them with you before, so I thought this would be a fun thing to do. Let's get started. Number 1, I went to boarding school. So this was from 9th through 12th grade, and I was at Kodaikanal International School, also known as KIS. I went when I was 13 years old, and the reason I chose to go to boarding school was because my parents were getting a divorce at the time and I couldn't decide who to live with because I love them both so much. So this was a neutral third territory. But every cloud has a silver lining because boarding school ended up being one of the best experiences of my life. And luckily, all these years later, my parents are pretty good friends as well, even though they've moved on with their lives. So all's well that ends well. But boarding school was amazing. So let me get back to what I loved about my experience there. So it was my first time living away from home. I think it really taught me to be self-sufficient, and it made me so much more in touch with my own needs, whether from an academic perspective or a health perspective or just a life perspective. I feel like I really got to know myself, and I also made some incredible friends because there were people there from all over the world. Plus, we were all living together, unlike in a day school where you go home. Here you're actually going back to the dorm and hanging out with each other all day, literally, or doing work together, brushing your teeth together. You know, I feel like you do these really intimate activities that you normally do in private in a boarding school with all your friends, which makes those relationships so unique. I think there's really no friendships like your boarding school friendships. So I really treasure those. And also because it was an international school, there were students and staff from all over the world, so it really exposed me to a lot of different personalities and perspectives, and for me it was just a really eye-opening and wonderful experience. Of course, life in boarding school comes with its challenges. There were those days when I felt extremely homesick. There were those days when I realized that teenagers can be incredibly cruel and insensitive to each other. Some people got bullied, some people got made fun of. There was all of that. That's part of the school experience, I think, not just the boarding school experience. But I guess you learn, you grow, you stand up for yourself. And all in all, for me, it was just one of the best experiences in my life, and I think it really taught me so much about myself and about life in general. Okay, fun fact number 2. I don't drink. People are often surprised when I tell them this for some reason, but I don't drink and I never have. And it isn't because of religious reasons. I am not religious per se. It isn't even because of family expectations. Both my parents drink. It's just a personal choice. I don't drink, I never have, and somehow I've never really been tempted to. Partly, I've never really liked the taste or smell of alcohol, and partly, I think that its effects haven't seemed particularly desirable to me because I feel like I'm pretty uninhibited sober. I mean, I talk about sex on the internet sober. Think about what I'd be talking about if I was drunk. I'm just kidding. But anyway, basically, I wanted to convey to you that no one is pressuring me not to drink or to drink or whatever it is. It is just my personal choice, and I think of it as one that is pretty good for both my health and my wallet. But back to that point about pressuring people with regard to their decisions around alcohol, I think it's really quite silly how much pressure some people put on their friends to drink, or people who don't drink will be sort of made fun of or shamed for not drinking. And I really think you should just live and let live. What you want to put into your body, what food or what alcohol or what beverage or whatever that is, it is your choice and no one else's to make. And so I think we should really just let people be. If they want to drink, if they don't want to drink, it's really no one else's business. And finally, the third fact that I wanted to share with you is that I love drawing and painting. I have been obsessed with art ever since I was a kid. I would spend all my free time drawing, and if my parents were ever traveling, I would insist that they take me to go to all the art galleries and art museums. And then in high school and in college, art was one of the major subjects that I took. I did higher level art in the IB program in high school, and then I also double majored in English and visual art at Columbia. So art has been a genuine interest of mine, one that I really immersed myself into during my studies. Sadly, during my work life right now, it isn't something I get to do quite as much as I'd like to. Although I suppose at some level, I create digital art a little bit more because I'm graphic design and things like that are quite a big part of what I do. But I try and make the time to draw and paint as much as I can, and I also draw and paint a little bit for some of my mom's interior design projects, which is a wonderful way to keep those skills alive, because truly there is nothing that makes me feel more absorbed and fully focused and just 100% in the present moment than making a drawing or a painting. I think I really enter that flow state when I'm drawing or painting, where I'm just almost impossible to distract and 100% absorbed. And I feel like in this digital age, it's so hard to feel that way, that your attention is completely occupied in what you're doing, which is why I really look forward to drawing and painting. And if you're someone who makes art as well, I'm sure you'll be able to relate to that. It's amazing, right? I love using all kinds of different media. I use charcoal, pencils, dry chalk pastels, watercolor, but perhaps my favorite of all is to paint in oil on canvas, and I particularly like painting portraits of people, but I also enjoy incorporating human, animal and flower imagery into my portraits of humans. So yeah, those were three things that are quite an important part of my life, but somehow I haven't really talked about that so much online. So I thought I'd just share this with you. I would love to know 3 things about you that you haven't shared online, or just 3 fun facts so I can get to know you better. So why don't you leave me a comment sharing 3 facts about yourself? I would love to get to know you guys better in that fun little activity there. So definitely leave me a comment. Don't forget to like this video. Please give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. Follow me on social media. And as always, I will see you next time. Bye.